How do we remember things? Have you ever wondered how do we remember things? Remembering things is not in our control. Sometimes we remember the things we don't want to, and sometimes we want to remember something but we fail. Isn't that sad? Yes, but what's controlling the power of your remembrance? Well, it is your behavior that controls the power of your remembrance. Your brain keeps an eye on your behavior all the time. Whatever you do in your daily life, the brain catches all your behavior and stores in it. For example, we have been walking, eating, talking, sleeping since our childhood. But did you hold the spoon the very first time you held it as you are holding now? Did you put your first step perfectly when you were a toddler as you are walking now? No, right? But now it's different. You don't need someone to teach you how to walk, how to eat, how to hold a spoon, or how to put your footsteps. Because your brain has learned all these things already from your behavior. Congratulations! You have come from an imperfect stage to a perfect stage. Similarly, learning takes place all the time, therefore, almost all human behavior is learned. Our brain keeps a trace of all the events taking place in our life. To remember the things, we need to learn the things, which comes through understanding the things. And when we understand and learn a thing, it is directly converted into a memory which is stored in the brain. According to psychologists, there are 4 kinds of learning. Number 1, classical conditioning or respondent learning. Number 2, instrumental learning. Number 3, multiple response learning. And number 4, insight learning. We will know these one by one. Classical conditioning is the simplest kind of learning. It is studied by Ivan Pavlov during early 1900s. Let us look at a familiar example which you all might have known. Case 1. Offer food to a dog and ring a bell at the same time. The dog starts mouth-watering by looking at the food. Pavlov called this an unconditioned response because the dog couldn't identify the bell sound. Let's look at case 2 of the same example. Soon after some days, the dog starts mouth-watering just by hearing the bell sound. This was called conditioned response because the purpose of the bell is identified by the dog. That is, the dog remembers that he is offered food after the bell sound. Isn't it interesting? Next comes instrumental learning. This can be described as often a person learns to do something as a result of what happens after the person does it. This is often used in animal training. For example, you want to train a dog to shake hands. Give a snack after every time he shakes hands. That means, here the dog remembers that he is offered a snack when he shook hands the last time and will shake hands this time too. Try this if you have a pet. Third type of learning is multiple response learning. It happens when a skill is learned. A sequence of simple things must be learned. For example, using a typewriter. At first, a person has to type letter by letter. With practice, the person learns to type word by word or phrase by phrase. Fourth type of learning is insight learning. It means solving a problem through understanding how the different parts of a problem fit together. A simple example is that of a young child wanting to climb on top of a table. The child may use a stool to get onto the chair and then use the chair to climb onto the table. Theories to explain how we memorize events. There are 2 basic theories to explain as how we memorize events. According to one theory, memory is said to be stored in the brain as a memory trace. This theory tells that when we learn something, impulses are generated in the nerves of the brain. And these impulses impart their effects in the brain in the form of a record. The other theory says that sensations created by learning produces some permanent changes in the brain which remain there in the form of a memory. Is RNA related to memory? Have you ever heard that RNA is related to human memory power? Yes, according to some biologists, the RNA or the ribonucleic acid present in the brain keeps on increasing from the age of 3 to the age of 40. During these years, the memory of the man also increases, and the quantity of RNA is almost constant from the age of 44 to 50 or 60. Therefore, man's memory is almost constant during this period. And after the age of 60, the quantity of RNA starts decreasing and so does the memory. However, the only effective way of remembering something is to repeat it many times. I know, boring things are much more difficult to remember than something that we are interested in and understand. Therefore, interest to learn, motivation, and wanting to do something is very important. Hope you have learned something new today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Aspire Success.